Welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. Today we are going to process our golden fryer chickens, the ones that we bred here on the homestead, specific to us, for a fryer chicken. We're hoping to hit that 3 to 4 pound average weight off of these 14 birds that we're going to be processing today. Guys, we're a little bit different kind of video. We're going to get our processing done, and then we'll pick back up and you will actually see the finished product. We're going to show you the weights, the average weight. We're going to show you what the bird looks like, the carcass once it's done and cleaned up. And we're going to break down for you the total amount of feed we put into them, the cost to raise them, the whole 9 yards. And we're going to compare it to these Rangers we've been growing for years and see what you think. I think you will enjoy this video, guys. Thanks for stopping in. Hit the old like for us, subscribe to the channel if you hadn't, and if you have, as always, y'all, we appreciate you. We're going to get started, and we'll see you after the processing. Okay, y'all, the results are in. We spent this morning cleaning all 14 chickens. It didn't take that long, y'all. We were able to put 2 of these birds in the plucker at the time. Probably could have put 3 in there at the time and gotten them clean. So it didn't take maybe an hour to clean these birds. Probably took longer to set up, clean up, break down, and clean up again than it did to actually process these 14 golden fryers. Y'all, I've done some math. We keep meticulous details, records, from raising all of the animals out here that we do, between the hogs and the chickens. And I keep a spreadsheet, a running spreadsheet for each flock that lets us know our inputs versus what we're getting out of it. So, without further ado, let me kind of break this down for you. I'm going to start with the Rangers. I actually took the last 2 flocks that we raised and average those up together so I could give you an accurate understanding of a Ranger versus this was raising it in the fall and the spring. All right, for the Rangers, 8 weeks to grow out. That's how long it takes us. And in 8 weeks, we fed them 600 pounds of 21% all plant-based poultry feed. That gave us an average weight per bird, carcass weight, of 4.83 pounds. We ended up with 150 pounds of meat from that average. And that average is showing 4 pounds of feed to produce 1 pound of meat. So that conversion, we've actually done better than that, y'all. We've gotten it down to 3.5 pounds in the past. But it's going to be different every time you raise birds, because of your environment. This time when we raised Rangers in the spring, we had some incredibly hot, humid days that lasted for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And y'all, in the same way with raising these golden fryers that we bred here on the homestead, the last week of their life, y'all, the heat index has been like 110, 112 most days with high humidity. We ended up putting, not only raising the curtains in their coop, but we also put a box fan on the inside blowing out, exhausting out to get more of that hot air out. But y'all, they panicked quite a bit, and that slows down their weight gain whenever you have environmental factors that are extreme like that. And y'all, we've had some extreme weather as far as heat in the past several weeks. What's crazy is this morning, when we go out to butcher birds, it's 52 degrees outside. It's crazy. You go from 80 one morning to 52 the next. But anyways, that makes it hard on raising your birds. That's why your commercial producers, they've got it dialed in, y'all, with these enclosed houses, cool cells, propane heat. Everything stays constant in there for them to help them get that weight gain on those birds. But we do it the traditional way, and so you're going to have some fluctuation in your weight gain. All right, back to the Rangers. 150 pounds of meat, that was total carcass weight. 4 pounds of feed to 1 pound of meat. It cost us $300 exactly to raise 31 birds off of those Rangers this last time. Because you got to figure in, you're paying to have those birds shipped to you from the hatchery, and the feed cost is a little bit higher this year than it has been in the past. Kind of like everything else, y'all. Everything's getting higher. So we ended up at $2 per pound is what it cost us to raise Rangers. $2 per pound. We've done as good as $1.60, $1.65 a pound in the past. But y'all, that was with lower feed cost. Sorry, I looked over there. Lisa's getting something out of her outhouse, trying not to make any noise. And hey, honey. She's working in the garden. Anyways, $2 per pound on those. On the Golden Friars, remember, millions of dollars have not gone into figuring out these genetics and these breeds. Simply research on my end. All right. We raised 14 Golden Friars out. It took us 125 pounds of feed in 9 weeks to raise these birds out. Our average weight, once we combined the weights of each carcass, was 1.5 pounds per bird. And I know you're thinking, man, that's not much. But by the time you take out the bone and the cartilage, you've got about a pound of meat there. And for our family of 3, that's a good size frying chicken. We had hoped to have a 3 to 4 pound yield carcass weight at 9 weeks. I believe we probably could have hit the 2 pound range had we not been dealing with 80% humidity and heat index of 110 plus. Those birds, they really suffered this past week. Now, we did the best we could to maintain their welfare. When I say suffered, it means their weight gain. They didn't suffer themselves. They had plenty of cold water, feed, cool breeze, as cool as we could get it with 110 index. So we ended up with 21 pounds of meat total. And that was $52.50 to raise those 14 Golden Friars. Ended up being $2.50 per pound. So it cost us $2 a pound to raise the Rangers. It cost us $2.50 a pound to raise the Golden Friars. And I've done some projections, and if we let those Golden Friars go 3 more weeks to a 12-week total, we should be able to get up to about a 2.5 pound carcass weight, even with the weather fluctuations like we've had. Our goal was 3 to 4 pounds. Might have been overshooting the target just a little bit, but we'll be able to get up to that 2.5 pound range. We're going to let this next flock that we're going to be putting in there once we've cleaned out the coop, put fresh bedding down, we're going to let them go 12 weeks. And hopefully we'll have some decent weather and not this crazy stuff like we've been having. And we should still be around that $2.50 per pound mark. But y'all, the whole reason for doing this, 2 reasons. We wanted a traditional frying chicken that you could have eaten 100 years ago. And I believe we have achieved that. The Delawares, which is our rooster, they used to be raised commercially anyways before the Cornish Cross did. They're not as mixed up as the newer Cornish Cross, and they're much hardier. As a matter of fact, one of the men at the feed store, one of the feed stores we deal with, he said, if I were going to suggest a bird for you to raise, it'd be the Delaware, because it's a great meat bird, old-fashioned meat bird. And I said, yeah. I said, we're actually using that as part of our program here. But then we have the speckled Sussex, and they come from Great Britain. And y'all, that breed has been around since probably about the dawn of time. And so they were even used during the Roman Empire. That was a classic bird then. They're a great gentle bird. The Delaware, he's fairly gentle. He's pretty tough. He protects his flock. But I'll tell you that these Rangers, when we collected them up this morning It was not hard to do at all. They really took on the traits of the Sussex to do that. But anyways, it's a little bit whiter of a skin than I was hoping for. I was hoping for a dark yellow skin like the Ranger, but a lot of that dark yellow comes from the fat seeping through from the skin from that high protein feed. These birds did not convert the feed as good as the Ranger, but y'all, for something that we put a couple $100 into breeding, researching, getting everything together, I don't think that we can complain, because we have a decent sized chicken that we can actually fry. We can tomorrow, once they have been on ice for 24 hours, we'll break them down completely. Drums, thighs, wings, and breast, and the backs. We'll put the backs in a stock pot. We'll make a little stock at the same time, but we'll be able to take, or actually we may just fry the back too. We'll probably put the whole thing in a vacuum seal bag, pull that out when it's time for fried chicken, because y'all, we eat chicken a lot, because it's still probably the most bang for your buck of animals that you can raise on your homestead. Pork is the next one, but we're talking about chicken today. So, but these golden fryers look perfect. They're gonna fry up in half the time of the Rangers that we've been growing, and it'll be sufficient to feed probably a family of 4 as your protein. So I'm pretty happy with it. We're going to let this next batch go to 12 weeks, see if we can get up to that 2.5 pound carcass yield. But y'all, at $2.50 a pound, I'm happy with it. Oh, and I said there was 2 reasons. One reason is tradition, having flavors from 100 years ago. And the second reason, probably the most important reason, is we can breed these chickens here. We're already set up to do it. We can incubate them, we can hatch them, we can brood them, we can grow them out, and we can repeat that cycle over and over without having to worry about shortages of birds, without having to worry about culling of birds in other states from hatcheries, without having to worry about our state saying you can't bring birds in, because you know that mess may be coming sooner or later, if it's not already here in some places. I think you can still get birds from hatcheries so long as they are part of a testing program. But y'all, why take the risk if you don't have to? For $2.50 a pound, we can keep turning these flocks over for 6-7 months at the time, while we've got spring all the way up to fall. And we could even raise them later into the fall, because we can put the curtains down and we can maintain a little bit better heat inside of this little coop if we have to. So we're thinking long term. We're thinking maybe we can't get birds from these hatcheries that we've been dealing with for years. So now we can produce something here without having to worry about that. And guys, it's time to be thinking about that if you're homesteading. If you want to use what we've done and try to grow out some golden fryers, go for it. We'll fry one up here in a few days, and I'll show you frying that up, and we'll give you our opinion on the bird. But I can already tell you from cleaning them, these are going to be some tender, fine fried chicken pieces, and I'm looking forward to it, y'all. Guys, thanks for stopping in. Hit the like for us, subscribe if you hadn't, and if you have, y'all, we appreciate it. We'll see you in a few days.